podcast, we've got some of the winners from the Alpha Wave 3 event in with us, chatting away. We've got Sham here from the Fateless crew as well. Sham, how you doing?
What's going on, man? I'm super psyched to be here and to be here with all these winners, man. So super cool, all the impressive and amazing dedication, honestly, that you guys have all done, but in particular you guys.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like, I think when we first decided to do the caverns as our alpha experience, we wanted to have basically a way that people could enjoy an alpha, but with that element of competitiveness in it as well, and challenges along the way. And yeah, I mean, I've chatted to a bunch of the guys here already today, actually, as we've kind of like, as we started to find people getting their top spots and finding these two different groups of like elite players. But yeah, I mean, I guess from an alpha experience, before we jump into the winners here, what's your kind of like vibe, Sham? You know, it's been 2 months for us as a grind, but how you feeling?
I mean, you know, we've been in it together this whole time. It's been awesome. Like, you know, we started to kind of do some of the analytics and start to see, you know, how many people wanted to play, how much you guys were getting involved and really min-maxing, and you know, at different stages, right, driving through the caverns and then trying to like get to the very end. I mean, it's really evolved. Like that's what's been so cool for me. Because, you know, when we first planned the 3 stages, it's like, okay, this is cool. You know, we can test with a small group and then a medium group and then a big group was like the first, you know, thing. And then it was like, actually, we want to test, you know, these different elements. And what's been most fun for me is how much has changed per group, right? You know, different strategies, different heroes. You know, we've plugged a couple of holes where there's bugs, and then it's like, oh, there's something interesting over here, and we get that. And I think that we nailed it from this is fun. At least that's how I felt. Yeah. Like I've been playing personally a lot, to be honest.
Same, yeah.
Right. But you guys, I mean, yeah, the community has just been, it's just been impressive. It's been inspiring. Like it, you know, a little bit emotional, if I'm honest. Like to see this many people.
I mean, the first day, I think, for us launching Alpha 1 was really emotional in terms of like over 2 years of work, getting to a point where people could actually play the game. And then for Alpha 3, where it's like, well, the game's a little bit more polished now. So, I mean, still bugs and stuff, don't get me wrong. Like, there's still plenty of bugs, but the game was feeling more polished and started to get towards a point where, you know, people were now really experiencing, I guess, what we was expecting the game to feel like. And I guess maybe let's jump around some of the room here. So the person who came out the traps absolutely flying, we really tried to make this not achievable in 24 hours. Like Alpha Wave 3 we made harder, like by a decent amount, I'd say, mainly because we didn't allow legendary drops or anywhere near as many so early. So I guess Lyco, is it Lyco or Lyco? How do you pronounce the name?
You can call me Lyco.
Lyco, yeah, okay. So I just I guess give us a little bit of background to yourself, and yeah, I mean, how the hell did you get this done in 24 hours, man?
Well, I play a lot of gacha games. Typically, I just do like free-to-play stuff and try to push as far as I can as like a non-premium player. Really, I came in with a strategy to like use units that were definitively accessible, and then I had a list of legendaries and epics that I planned on using, and the legendaries I didn't want to get being like Hell, Isis, Loki, and then I proceeded to get Hell, Isis, and Loki.
Oh, okay.
But it really felt like pushing through the cavern just felt like determining when the best time to pivot was from farming to pushing, because a lot of players would get brick walled at different parts of the cavern. Yeah. And so whenever I'd see someone get brick walled at a certain point, especially if it was in range of me, I would transition to farming immediately, because I knew pushing hard from where I was just going to hit that next brick wall.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, I mean, obviously you went hard, and you, did you get the Did you get the Zeus tech quite early?
Oh yeah, I got Zeus at 136.
Yeah, I mean
130. That's pretty late.
I mean, that's fairly late, but I guess Zeus I found when I picked him up. Yeah, I was actually already at 148 when I got Zeus.
Okay.
And that was a tough level. 148 was tough. But then I put Zeus in, I was like, oh, hold on a minute, I'm cruised through.
Yeah. Zeus was
so-
kind of like an 8-hour cheat code where he was like the equivalent of getting 8 more hours of farming on your account, or being 8 hours ahead of everybody else, roughly, is kind of what it felt like it broke down to.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
you could re-roll and you could keep trying to hit his A1 on enemies and like kill whatever the primary target was, and you could just do that over and over again to try to maximize your results. And so it really let you push much further than people who weren't fortunate enough to get him early.
Yeah.
Did you? So what was your early tech then? So like, I'm interested to like, did you really lean into rares? Did you really lean into like what epics did you lean into? And like, I mean, like you said, you transitioned to farming, but was it farming heroes or gear or probably heroes? But like, yeah,
weapons were actually the first thing I started farming. Whatever characters landed, I knew that you have characters like Hound of Duat and Brunhild who were really good early on, and then the rares they did so much. Scotty was incredible for controlling. Guan Yu, like the best character in the game in my opinion. He could do everything.
Nice.
He carried through almost all the content.
Funny actually, a lot of people thought Guan Yu was the weakest starter in the first couple of waves, and I was thinking, I'm not sure about that. Like,
he was until we fixed him.
Well, yeah, but on paper, I mean, even on paper, they were like, no, I'm not sure about this kit. But yeah, I mean, yeah, anyway, sorry, like, carry on.
Yeah, it's so we knew the biggest bottlenecks coming in were gonna be. I didn't know how crazy 120 was gonna be, to be honest. But we knew that Guan Yu was by far the best tool to deal with these bosses, especially with the understanding that dots were going to do 80% less damage, supposedly.
Yeah.
So we really strategized around the idea of using this character, and there were some internal synergies with like Osiris or Green Knight specifically. So you didn't have to waste time doing the drain and just trying to push as many attacks with Guan Yu onto the target as possible.
Yeah, that's
and
also
so that allowed us to hit way out of our like current level.
And so if you had then a point where you really like got stuck, what was that? Obviously you're playing for 24 hours, but I guess you must have played most of those hours to be able to have got over the line first.
I got the first place I got stuck was at 120. Then I just went back and I farmed some Thunderbolts for the max HP damage.
Yeah.
Asked it, saw other people getting roadblocked at like the 130s. Then I decided I would auto farm some champions, see if I could improve my roster, and I went to sleep.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you did do some farming. You did have some sleeping time, and then basically came back for the home run.
And what about you, Fusion? So like to kind of like to talk about the stage level, since you were able to get that second slot. How quick after was I? I'm forgetting. And like, was your strategy pretty similar, and characters pretty similar, or how did that go?
Yeah, I think our characters were relatively similar. In the Hive Mind, we were for the week before, we were already trying to break down everything we learned from Alpha 2 and figuring out what was good, what was bad. We had all the spreadsheets out and we were going over it again and again. And we ended up with the fact that 120 is sort of going to be the hard block. And Guan Yu with his basic attack doing the max HP damage was sort of the way to go. But to build him to be enough damage early on, we couldn't really put much accuracy on him. So that's where the Green Knight sort of like filled that role. And then in doing so, we realized that, wait a minute, his taunt can actually like give you a couple of extra turns on the golem. So with the Green Knight having the accuracy, we could then have the drain permanently up on the boss, which then allowed for every single time you brought in Guan Yu to do the max HP damage.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
Super cool that you guys were kind of like. So I know that there's I think I want to say 4 of you guys are all from this new Pantheon. Start saying the right words here. This Pantheon for that's just recently formed. Maybe shout out the who started the Pantheon and that type of stuff.
I wouldn't really say any singular person started. It was basically from the Alpha Wave 2. We all just ended up going to the Alpha voice chat in the official Discord, and we all just were like-minded individuals. We all made friends, and that community sort of brought us back every day to like keep on pushing, keep on figuring out new things, helping the new players come in, And from that, after we learned that there was going to be a competition, we were like, you know what? We are all like-minded. We are all competitive. We are. Everyone sort of wants to get to the top, so we didn't really have like any particular person in mind of who was going to win. It was more, if any one of us won, it was a victory as a whole. Yeah. And we were basically waiting to see which one of us actually pulled the Zeus first, and then we were all behind that person. I mean, so there were a few other people that pulled the Zeus, but they got roadblocked at a couple of earlier stages, and then I was having. I thought I was going to have to pivot to the stars relatively early on because I was falling quite far back. But then with everybody behind me always just pushing, say, just carry on, just keep doing it. I mean, I think at one point I was up for 40 hours non-stop just trying to maximize everything because I wasn't getting the RNG. So I said, well, I can persevere longer than the rest. So I just kept on hitting my wall at it. But if those guys weren't there with me and sort of helping me get to the end, I probably wouldn't be sitting in this chat right now.
That's amazing.
That's cool. It's actually really cool to see not just the guys from HiveMind, but I know we've got the guys from ELT here as well. It's cool to see these groups forming already around this game, really because of the depth that we've been able to bring into the game, and a lot of that comes from the imprints and some of the different like team combinations. So I guess maybe we move on to just trying to think who was. Sorry, say again.
Well, so real quick, I was going to say, Chloe just reminded me, and this is a good call. I don't think that we can see who all's in the chat, so maybe we just do a quick introduction of everybody that did win. Oh yeah, and as well. So yeah, the two that we just spoke to, we got Lako, I guess we said, and Phixion with a PH. You guys can all check it out. Anyone who doesn't want to wait for me to say it, you can go to godforge.gg and you can check it out right there. But so we've got Lako and Phixion. They won on the stages. They were able to rush to to stage 150 and complete that the fastest. They were the top two. And then we've got Unbound, Sage, and Paradox, and they were able to actually complete all 300 stars.
Yeah, it was actually 298, wasn't it? 298 star challenges, because 2 were kind of bugged, albeit. But I think it was actually Papa Tez, wasn't it? Papa Tez, who was the second winner.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So it was actually Unbound Sage. I was call it out, and then Papa Tez was the second one who was able to, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, to get the challenge level done. Yep. Yeah. And then the final 2 were for the final boss damage, and we'll talk about the actual numbers, which were insane. Yeah. Was Draco Joker and I guess Soplin. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, so that's everybody that we're chatting with. Just want to make sure that we had that.
Yeah, thanks. That's a good point. Actually, we don't have everyone on camera. I forgot we don't have everyone on camera. But let's have a quick look at just the leaderboards here, because I know. In fact, maybe we just jump to the final damage quickly, because we looked at the beginning of the day and really trying to think where we were at. We were at something like, I don't know, maybe like 300 mil at the beginning of the day. And it's actually Sham, Dan, and I had a kind of like side bet before the alpha started. We're like, how much damage do we think people are going to get done? And Sham, do you remember your number?
Kind of gloating at that point.
Were you like 250 or something like that? I think you were about 250
I was
mil.
Like, see, guys, I got this. Look how perfectly I've analyzed this, and then
and I said I thought maybe 500 mil would be the damage, because I was sure there would be something that would come out. We'd seen the Green Knight taunt bug. We're like, well, that might get used, and then I was like, actually, I don't know if that will get used. I think there will just be something around Beowulf and Guan Yu and sort of enemy max HP or bleeds or something, which ends up being stronger. But then we came towards like the final really 2 hours, and we started to see some crazy strats coming out. Maybe have we got Draco in the chat as well? Yeah. Draco, talk us through this insane number and team that you put together.
Well, so one thing, kind of at the beginning, what we were doing was kind of like the strategy most people knew about involving Bryn and Achilles and Shamash, where you would apply the bleeds and then let the Shamash die and Achilles, and then you would essentially solo it until the end, where we were getting, I think, my run on that was about 135 million, give or take.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, interesting enough, Hellhades did the announcement with the Zoc bleed.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it in the group chat, and one of my groupies threw that into our strategy, and he started running it, and it looked like it was working, which it did. So then what I did essentially was I got the basic stats, and then I looked at the gear I had, and I think because like Black Wolf technically got first before I did.
Sure.
So I ended up comparing the numbers, and I think what made the difference between our numbers is that essentially I used more defense, and mine was a little faster. But really, it was a whole group effort. Like, it took all of us to do it.
And this is the ELT group, right? So basically,
ELT, yeah.
Yeah, I put out the announcement to say, look, there's a known bug with the Lady Shock with the passive with the imprint, which, in fairness to the Hive Mind guys, they found the bug and they reported it so that people could understand it. But basically, you took that strat to a different place by basically making a solo. It ended up being a solo run in effect, right? So you kind of had the bleeds went on. And then with this bug to this imprint, which basically seemed to make people infinitely scale with the bleed damage, you just had Brunhild, the unlikely epic Brunhild coming in to be the
champion of our intro.
Champion.
Like, don't forget, she's always been here.
And one of the things I also did was I didn't quite have enough accuracy. I think I was at 192.
Yeah.
So I throwing in Odin in the leader position to get that additional 70 accuracy, and I had no gear on him. The whole point of Odin was just to get that leader bonus.
I love that Odin has done to get a place on the diorama, and he literally just stood there as an aura. That's all he was. Which is kind of funny. Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Did he even have gear on him, Draco?
No, Odin had no gear at all.
So we have a naked Allfather on the diorama.
So is the diorama just going to be 4 people laying on the ground with Brynhild fighting Fafnir by herself?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about that actually.
Yeah.
We were like going and like looking through the data and like making sure that number one, the bug that we basically agreed, hey, this is actually an exploit where you could copy the gear. That wasn't used, so we were double checking that, and we're like, why does he have a naked Odin? Like, is it like a charm thing? Like, is something else broken? We couldn't figure it out, and then we just hopped in and to the chat, and you guys were like, no, he's just there for the accuracy.
I would just want to say something about the Jacques passive being broken. I don't think we, as the Hive Mind, can sort of claim that as what we found. The community actually as a whole on the 151 channel, they were constantly posting things about what they found and the anomalies that they found. And most of our knowledge we got was basically just from trolling that and testing all of those things and putting multiple layers of what everybody else found. So, I mean, thank you to everybody who actually posted in there, because you helped everyone and the game at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's awesome to see this kind of like collaborative event, really, where, and I saw it a lot in Alpha Wave 2 when it was like a non-competition event where everyone was just kind of like sharing information, sharing strats, and obviously when it gets to a competition, it gets a little bit more guarded, I guess, because you're like, well, actually, I want to come top, and I might hold on to some of the secret sauce a little bit closer. But it's actually been really, really fun to just see you guys find out how to break this game. I'm so pleased we ended up putting on this 500 turn limit, because we just saw from Alpha 1 and 2, we think we've got the big bugs done. But then there was always going to be something else that we just hadn't quite caught yet. I would just love to jump to Papa Tez. I know you were one of the people as well that kind of like hit the challenge side hard, and was one of the people that kind of like managed to push that end. Was that always like in your plan? And I know that you played sort of Alpha 2 pretty hard as well.
It actually was like I was thinking with it in the back of my mind, and I would say I have to count a lot of that to Unbound Sage, because he was just constantly saying, hey, you know, just maybe you should think about, like, if you don't get Zeus, if you don't get to the 151, because I was pushing for the 151 for sure, and I think at a point or two I was even in the lead, but I also didn't have Zeus, and then I just kind of like lagged behind because I got kind of gated after like 120. Sure. And then next thing you know, they get Zeus and they just fly up. I'm like, dude, what is this? There were like 90 and like 100. They flew like 50 stages. I'm like, what the world, man? Like, you know, all right. So then, like, what I did at the beginning was I was like, okay, I'm gonna get as many easy stars as I could, and I can also kind of like count that to Leko, right? Because he was mentioning that too. It's like, hey, just go after the easy stars, get things done that you can't get done while still pushing. And then once they finished with the 151, I said, let me go ahead and get 151 done so that I can set myself up to start farming so that I can start pushing for the stars. And that's at the point where I started pushing the stars. And in order to actually get the last star done, I was actually like out and about. And I was like on a doing like a little miniature, like I was doing something like that was on a stage, and I got the phone call that like, get home right now. We figured out 152. So they literally put in the work to figure out kind of like those last stages so that I could actually I went home and they helped me get it finished.
What were some of the hardest ones that you had to do with the challenges?
In all honesty, I would say I don't know if it was like necessarily hard, but it was like 149, which was one of the bug stages.
Right.
Because I did it.
1,000 times.
Because I did it multiple times, and I was like, why is it not working?
Yeah.
And then I was told, it's like, okay, just keep trying at it. And then that was like, so I was at 297 at that point, trying to figure out everything. Because I mean, I was able to kind of get everything else down. Yeah. 148, of course, was definitely just, that's brutal.
Yeah.
So really, everything that was past 140.
Like, I was not expecting people to be capping it out. When we had some of those challenges, I was like, I don't think this is going to be possible. You know, they were hard. Some of those ones.
Always believe in the community. You know this. Come on.
I was just like,
shout out to Sage for actually beating 142 with the Tian team.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible.
Yeah,
as far as I'm aware, no one else did it.
So if you want me to talk a bit, I was going for the stars from day one. You can ask anyone in the alpha voice chat. I was making it very clear.
Of the plan?
Yeah, of the plan TM, and Draco was definitely there as well. I was not in the hive mind circle at the beginning because I'm really bad at notifying. They invited me. I just didn't see the notification. But I took when your video dropped, Simon, about the prizes and the way to get in and stuff. I was like, well, getting to 151 is a luck thing. I shouldn't rely on that. Like, I'll push for it certainly, but I don't think relying on that is a good idea. And then I am very bad at these longer clan boss style fights. But when it comes to planning, I feel like I had a good sweet spot there.
Yeah.
And so I started at 142, and I was like, well, Shinigami seems to be a phenomenal champion for farming.
Yeah.
Mainly because of stealing the buffs. So there are waves that are balanced by people having wards, right? There are weaker champions in the wave, so you can steal that ward away and kill them earlier. And then there's also, when Shinigami is awakened 5, there's a chance to put Banish on the target.
Yeah.
So, like, things like Hercules, stay dead. Things like, you know, stopping the Shamash revive is really big. And in these later waves, that becomes a big pain point. And the ultimate puts on Drain, which is a Guan Yu enabler. So, and then both Guan Yu and Shinigami were in the 142 stage. So my big plan kind of came down to, I pushed with them. I took them all, I 6-star them first, and I finished, I got to 151 24th with those two as my main damage deal.
Right.
Wow.
Well,
Holy shit.
You know what I loved about the whole challenge like idea? Because basically, you know, think about what we're trying to achieve here with these alpha waves. It's we want to test our game. We want to test the different heroes that we've created, make sure that they feel right for their, you know, their kind of rarity and that type of stuff. But I think for Alpha 1 and 2, where there wasn't an actual challenge for people to really push, it meant that people really just relied on legendaries a lot. Whereas this time around, it was like, no, people need to finish these star challenges, and people are finding some of those cool rares that can really do some work. And I particularly love that Maria Marevna came out of the woodwork as a great carry, and Shinigami's another one. Like these rares which actually can just pack a punch and do a good job, but against particular opponents. I thought that was very cool.
Shinigami. Just to finish the thought though.
Yeah.
Shinigami performed excellently, and then I actually cleared 142 with a Shinigami, Wanyu, Shishi, and Musashi.
Nice. That's a good team.
You only have 6 choices with the way it's written. And then when I cleared it and didn't get the 2 stars,
you didn't get the 2-star, yeah.
I was quite concerned. And Fusion here actually screwed my head on straight. Like, hey, it's probably a typo. How about you try other built factions that you have? And then we tried Asgard pretty early because they're pretty powerful heroes. It turned out that was the 2-star answer.
Wow, that's crazy. You're just like, I'm just gonna try it till it works. Wow.
That's what makes it easier when you've got everyone like else around you. Everyone in the hive mind can be, okay, you pick this faction, you pick that faction, and you basically do 10 hours of work in 45 minutes.
Yeah. Makes
They
sense.
told me to around the same time. They basically told me, they say, look, 142 is it's RNG, but 149 is RNG, and you have it. They said, go beat your head against it until you get it. And it took me.
What was the deal with 149? Tell us what you had to do for that.
We don't know.
So basically, we don't know. It's just, you know, we cleared the stage, but basically 149 was to clear without any buffs going up, and also no defense down.
Oh yeah. So we looked in the back of house on this, right? So basically, the way the game's coded is that some passive abilities. So you know, sometimes when you see debuffs and buffs go up and there's like a gap. It happened a lot in wave 1, but we fixed most of them. You see, actually, my Achilles has got one right now. He's got like a gap at the front. Basically, if he's got a passive, the game's seeing that as a buff. And
it's a hidden buff, basically.
Yeah, it's like a hidden buff. So if you were able to basically not let someone get some of those buffs away, I guess that's how you would have actually done it. Sorry,
I just had to do it over and over again. That was it. It literally was, I had to do it over. So like, I tested it. I had it recorded.
With the same team, or over and over again with where you're just like, I'm gonna try to same team. Interesting.
Same team. So you know, I didn't have like any buffs, and it basically was, you know, Zeus clearing it, and you know, just going through and just making sure Zeus did not have the A1, and I got the Zeus late also too. So.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of hearing is you basically were like, all right, I've got Zeus. I want Zeus to clear so no one else does anything. That's basically what you tried to do. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so it was kind of like bringing in control. So again, Odin, we love Odin. Odin came in and he was basically like controlling the waves for me, just so that I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, any of that. And then, you know, basically kind of pamper them down with others, and then just go ahead and take them out with Zeus. That was pretty much the strat.
And tell us the story of I guess of you being called out, because I guess you talked, you know, broadly about this, but you weren't very specific. You said you were called out, they brought you home so that you could play, that you could get this done.
Yeah, so basically I was like right there. So I was at 296 basically, and so I got to 296. I was trying to beat my head against the wall between either 240, 242, 240, 248, 249, 250. That's where I was beating my head up against the wall. And I'm like, okay, so I think I ended up getting 248 done, I believe. Yeah, 248 249 was the one that I got done. So when I woke up in the morning, they said, "Look, we've cleared it." This is like 5, 6 in the morning. These guys have been asleep. I barely got any sleep, and I'm like, okay, let me just go in and clear it. So they were all working on like other stuff, trying to clear the stage, trying to figure out a 150 comp to clear it. And I just cleared 249. Then I went on my way. Like I basically was going for a religious gathering basically. And so while I was there, that's when they were doing all the testing and trying to figure out 242 since Sage had essentially did it but didn't get the star. So each of them just chose a faction, cleared it, and then we're just like, I get the phone call from Pawn, and he's like. And you know, he puts on the sultry voice and everything. He's just like, Tez, get home right now.
Right. You're needed.
Exactly. He says we basically think if you get home within the hour, you're going to Vegas. So we need you to get home right now and clear the stage. And they helped me through it. And Fusion basically kind of like took over and did kind of like the step by step to make sure that I was doing all the steps like properly. So big shout out to all of the Hive Mind for actually doing that.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Super cool to see that these two pantheons kind of formed. Are you guys already kind of like building up a rivalry? Or are you feeling like this is like a merge? Like I like that there's like a fight going on here. If I'm honest, I like that you guys are battling.
Frenemies, no. Hey, I guess we'll see how it goes. I think it's gonna be. I think more or less, I think we'll be able to have fun, back and forth, and just challenge each other to different things, and just keep pushing each other to be better, and also continue to find ways to make the game better, the community better, and things like that.
Yeah, most of the ELT guys have just been like really polite and super fun, especially Zav. He's very helpful, and he's just been really good at just assisting people and just being like a positive force. So I think just people with similar goals in different groups. That's all.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
In my perspective, it's not like per se enemy. We're all friends. It's just we have that competitiveness. Nice. Like for instance, Unbound. Like I talk to Unbound a lot throughout this wave, and like I love the dude. I can't wait till I can hear the whole breakdown of his plan, of the plan.
The plan, yeah.
yeah. I'll tell you what. Something I'm a little bit sad about is. Up until this morning, I thought we were going to have Bork as one of the the final heroes on the diorama, because Bork was just kind of like, I don't know, taking names really. Like he was absolutely unleashing all sorts of craziness in this fight. But I guess it'd be cool just to go through the group. Yeah, who was your standout? I guess heroes that almost like the unsold heroes. The ones that. And they're not the names that are called out every second, but the ones that kind of like either carried you through a specific bit of content, or I don't know, you just got an affinity for. So I guess Lyko, let's start with you.
Actually, I have two I'd like to call out. One is someone who's been criticized for not being very good or for being weak on multiple podcasts, actually, and that's Dracula. He is incredible on Fafnir. He does one wording change on his ultimate to not strip the bleeds off the boss, and he's a perfect Fafnir champion. He reflects, he cleanses, he gives you healing, he stacks bleed, he's very survivable. If he gets randomly one shot, he comes back. He just provides every tool you want in one consolidated package. So I want to be clear, he's not weak by any means. He's one of the best possible characters on the fight. But nice. Simon actually called out the secret weapon, the character I was most excited about and hoping to see on the diorama, and that was the Bauk. And he was only working at half power even. His debuff transfer wasn't functioning. He's such a cool character. He keeps buffs up forever. He redirects debuffs so that he isn't dying from them. He attacks repeatedly. He's a max HP character. He's eternal, so he strong hits. He's so cool. He does so much.
Yeah, maybe he'll make it off to like the sides or something. We'll see. Cause he's just such a cool character. I'm like, man, like how do we get rid of it?
It's like a very small aside. I'm sorry for the small tangent. I genuinely love how efficacious the rares are in this game. They have really like channeled kits that are so fun to play with, and they're so useful to build around. I'm so grateful that we had the opportunity to use these like not particularly like or these more novel characters to do such fun things with. It's something that I really enjoy the most about this game so far.
And what's funny, I mean, this is like a third of the heroes we're going to be launching with. So in our main build, we've got about 180 in the build right now. So we've kind of like moved so far beyond alpha, whilst we've been doing the alpha, and it's actually cool to start to see all of these different things go beyond what you guys are seeing already. But let's jump to Unbound Sage. How about yourself? Any ones that stood out for you?
I mean, I will tell you this. 148 is a very difficult Sage to 2-star. And without the absolute cannon that is Lady Jacques' ultimate, it would have been a lot more difficult. It is very, very powerful. And then for 143, it's 2 Chaos Heroes. And the particularly hard thing about that is on Wave 2, there is a Raw that has Ward 2. So if you just want to kill him because he's the damage dealer, he absorbs both of your blows from your 2 heroes that you have. Yeah. And if you try to go for like a slower comp, there's an Isis there that really, if you slow down, she's gonna like set up shop and really like muck up the whole fight. And Mordred's A1 places corrupt.
Yes.
And that I don't know if it's working as intended, but it does strip the ward away. And that was the only way I could clear it without Anubis. So Mordred's A1 in particular, a lot of people talk about the A2 on Mordred, or sorry, the basic versus core. A lot of people talk about the core on Mordred, but the A1 was the only way I could ever beat 143, which is with 2 Chaos Heroes, without Anubis.
Yeah,
so I'd say those two.
I would say, so Mordred for me, after 120, Mordred was my most used hero to get to 150. Yeah. Like, he was just, both for the core, where he's just kind of like confusing the enemy, and I think actually Confuse is really fun, but also like really good crowd control. But yeah, I just, and for the same reason you said there was a couple of the Isis waves where I was using both Isis and Mordred as basically buff strippers, just to try and keep the buff levels down, so I could actually get some damage done and not get those men's away. So I love that.
I was Team Scotty for CC, man. I lived and died by Scotty.
So my comp from like the 140s, I said I was using Shinigami and Guan Yu. I had a lot of damage, but my other 2 slots were actually Mordred and Scotty for that entire thing.
Right.
Because if I can't kill you, I will control you until it's your turn, right? Like,
oh, sorry, you're frozen.
Exactly.
We'll talk later.
So,
yeah,
that's right.
Maybe let's jump to Fusion. Have you got any others that we've not mentioned there that you used a ton?
Yeah, definitely the one that sort of like unlocked Wave 149 for me was a brick wall for a long time. And I think when Leica realized that I was brick wall, he decided, let me go and farm a bit, because if I'm not going to get through it, he's not going to get through it immediately. But I went back and I got Maria Marevna. Yeah. I couldn't get past Wave 3 on 149 because 2 Isis busy putting all of the buffs on. I was not breaking through that with what I had. So I basically packed her full of all the damage and waited for all of them to buff up as much as she can. I got the weapon to do extra damage at the start of a wave, and once they buffed up, I pushed the core and it was a delete button.
Right.
That's amazing.
Which is cool as well, right? So I don't think there was much talk about Maria Marevna in Alpha Wave 1 and 2 because people just had legendaries so early, and I think most people probably that got to that stage, a decent amount already had a Zeus, or they had some of the other ones which were pretty busted at the time, like Aphrodite and Shamash. So people didn't really have to go down to those rares that might pack a punch. So it was really cool to see that, actually. Yeah, how about you, Draco?
I would say probably like the hero I used the most and like my MVP also helped me get the win was Brynn. I actually got her really early on, and like she has the A1 that has the attack down, which helps with bosses. She has her ultimate which does the shield and reflect damage, and then the A2 with the defense up. Like there was even moments, like people may not believe this, but there were moments I even used her instead of Heimdall.
Oh really? Damn. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
And
that's it.
Like, I guess I didn't use crowd control as much as most people because like early on I got Hell as my first guarantee, and I used her some before 120, but after 120 I didn't use like Mordred.
Oh, really?
Pandora. I didn't use any crowd control pretty much from 120 all the way up.
Wow.
That's I mean, that's cool. It's good that people had different approaches to it, I think. Did you just try and like basically just blast your way through the waves then?
I did have Zeus, like I will admit that did help, but also at the same point, like I was getting to a point because I wanted to finish in top 10 and I landed in 8th. So I didn't have the time to go and build another character. So I figured out a way with like the Thunderbolt. I think I used Beowulf's imprint. There was a little bit of luck, with his A1, but I pretty much DPS through the rest of the way because those slots in the top 10 were starting to fill up fast, so I knew I just needed to fly through it from there.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Makes sense. And what about you, Papa Tez?
For me, it's actually one that was already mentioned, which it was actually Guan Yu. It was actually Guan Yu for me because I was just on my little high horse and I said, I'm picking Lady Jock at the start. I don't care what anybody says. I'm picking Lady Jock. I don't care if Guan Yu's the best and I'm going to push through. Yeah. And I made the switch to Guan Yu kind of like a little bit later and he just helped so much, especially like especially once I hit 120. That was big for me. Another one for me was Quetz. So I got Quetz a little bit later. But the fact that he brings the speed up, the attack up, the turn meter fill, that helped me fill the gap because my gear farming early on was just atrocious. Like I was not getting any of the stats. Like I finally got like just probably like within the last 2 days, I got speed boots with crit damage. I got an attack percentage 5-star, gold chest piece with attack. And crit damage, attack percentage. I'm like, where were all these drops when I was pushing? And so he just kind of like made up for a lot of those little things that I had in there. And besides that, there was one other. Was it? I guess I could say.
Don't say
it still was similar. I won't say Aphrodite as much as I love Aphrodite. She's the best, but. Definitely was Mordred for me, but I kind of chose Mordred from the start, even since like the last wave. It was one of those where I hit the wall and I saw how hard they were this time, and I said, I am not fooling with this wave, and then I'm just going to use Mordred, and then same thing again with Odin, kind of both doing the same thing with the Confuse, making good use of the Charm, making good use of that A1 Corrupt. It just really helped me be able to push through and not only get some of the stars, but also to kind of push all the way to 151.
Where's the Sphinx love, guys? I feel like Sphinx was just like, I mean, she was who I got it first. Man, so good.
In all honesty, Sphinx was my gold battery. So I once we figured out the thing around Sphinx as far as like, and then also using a Green Knight. I actually was in the middle of a run and I was going for 100k bounty on level 60 Golden Guardian.
Nice.
And at like 87k the session ended. And I'm like, no. So Sphinx was the gold battery.
I just love her. I love basically everything about this kit, and I think it's fun that you can kind of go both directions. Even like early game, you can say I'm gonna go full defense. I'm gonna have her blast like a big old cannon, or you can go, you can go tons of accuracy and go the other way and make her. You still gotta keep her tanky if you're gonna be real, but she was. I basically had her, and I had her and Shamash, and she was once I got her and I had Hercules, and I just had them kind of like ally attacking. It was I actually never got not never. I got Zeus on the last day basically, and I was like, all right, thanks Zeus. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Appreciate the love.
Important note: no top team use Zeus.
No, that's it. That's it. I mean, I thought originally it was going to be Zeus plus some sort of bleed comp, and then basically 3 people that would keep that team alive. That's what I thought it was going to end up being, because Fafnir was hitting pretty hard. I thought we'd done a decent job of ramping up Fafnir, but clearly, like, it just still wasn't enough. No, I just bugs and stuff like stopped it. But you know, being able to run a comp right the way through 500 turns. I wondered when we first set this up if it was going to be a case of it's either go long and have like a bleed comp, or you don't actually hit the 500 turns, but you've just pumped in loads of damage like the Beowulfs and the Guan Yus and you know, and the Zeuses and Shamashes, that type of thing, and just gone like all out. So it was definitely interesting to see what it ended up being versus what I'd originally planned or thought it would be, I guess.
Zeus was almost too good for it, because Zeus, with all of his turns that he keeps on taking, he basically runs himself out of all the defensive cooldowns.
Yeah.
And then he's just standing there naked, and then the next hit, it's game over.
Yeah, he's so hard to keep alive, isn't he? Yeah.
I think as it stands right now, I still believe if there's some way you can keep Bach up, I think that we were trying to figure out what's going on with Brynhild, and we'll sort out exactly what all the different issues are, like why she becomes unkillable or unhittable at some point. And maybe you guys can talk to what the strategy is, just so everybody knows and can hear about like all the excitement. But I was still thinking, like, what if we could keep Bach up, because he gets, you know, obviously he counterattacks on all the debuffs, and then you could hit him with have him hitting with the bleed, but it never ended up having enough time to, you know, you guys figured it out too late. I expected more of you guys. That's all is what I'm saying.
And like to speak to that though, it's like we easily kept Buck alive. Like we kept him alive all the way to 500, and that's again and that goes to show like the work that you all put into making the stage harder. We had to go farm thousands of energy just to get the correct gear sets, to get the correct stats, to be able to do what we needed to do to stay alive. Especially you think about like the builds that we were running. I mean, we had to make sure that Bach had HP. We also had to make sure he had crit damage. We also had to make sure that he had, you know, some measure of speed. Like there was a lot of stats. Make sure you had initiative. Like you had to build very hard into the stats to be able to even do like what we did. So it wasn't just like, you know, just something super easy feat that we were able to do. Like I think everybody had to farm so much gear so that they would be able to perform well. Otherwise, Fafnir is not quite a baby this time. He's ready to smack.
What are your like favorite gear sets to try out?
I'd say for me, the ones that I got a chance to try out, because I just couldn't get the sets to drop in the stats I wanted.
Yeah.
I would say for me, it definitely was Shrine, was one of the ones that I really, really enjoyed. Being able to put that on Shamash, or putting it on Sphinx or some of the other healing characters, and just to watch them stay alive. I even put it on our favorite Heimdall, and just watch him just go all the way back up. I'm like, wow, easy strat of keeping him alive, even with the stats. So that was one of the ones. And then also too, I played around with kind of like a lot of the 2-piece duelists, the 2-piece Spectre.
Yeah.
Those are a couple of ones that I played around too, just trying to decrease the damage that you receive and keep those squishy characters alive.
During Alpha Wave 2, we were always telling the community, like, currently it's stats over gear sets, but when we actually got to Fafnir, we realized that the more HP we ended up having, the more damage we were taking from the HP percentage dots. So we were like, wait a minute, are we actually going to go against everything we've told the people? Are we now just going to pivot into only building gear sets? So
Right.
we were looking for like 2-piece Spectre on everyone, 2-piece Duelist on everyone, and then you had like a 2 flex slot. Whereas on the healers, you would go like either 2-piece Duelist or 2-piece Spectre just to stay alive. And then we would drop down our HPs, so we would take less damage and put more defense on. But I mean, to figure out all of these things, and then 9 happened to have some pretty high-powered runs, and we were all trying to like mimic his gear.
Yeah.
And we were realizing, why couldn't we do the same things? And we realized he had actually stumbled into a bit of a speed tune, where
Oh, really?
you drop your speeds all the way down to like 110, 111, 112. So you're never outrunning anything, and the slower you were, the more you survived. And after we realized that, we brought Beowulf in, because we were like, well, if we're going to start scaling damage, we want Beowulf to scale that damage. I mean, that just makes sense. Yeah. But then he could never stay alive, and we spent
so
like
squishy. So squishy.
The first like few days were just, how do we get Beowulf to turn 500? Once we can achieve that, we can then start figuring out how do we get damage on him. And somewhere in the Fateless Discord, someone mentioned that the Spectre set and the Isolde imprint seem to have a funny interaction with each other. And the moment we put the 2-piece Spectre on the Beowulf, he never died. And we're like, wait a minute, let's put 2-piece Spectre on everybody. So then the moment we did that, survivability was now no longer a problem.
Right.
So we started then playing with the speeds and, okay, how much of this gear do I have? Where can I squeeze in the crit rate? Where can I squeeze in the crit damage? Just to start scaling everything even more.
Yeah, because I think I farmed too far into trying to get an ISIS A1, honestly. I really wanted to get that kind of like men tech going on the A1, so I put loads of energy into trying to farm that. And I also farmed overnight for weapons for Thunderbolts. I got so many Thunderbolts, but I didn't really put enough time into gear. And I think that let me down. When I was trying to build like really high damage teams yesterday and today, I was just like, I just don't think I've got good enough quality of those like higher level gear sets. And I think it just like ended up letting me down. But it was fun. It was fun, I think, anyway, to try and decide where am I going to put my resources. You know, because there's these different elements, right? It's like, is it heroes? Is it gear? Is it weapons? And yeah, I don't know. How did you guys find that, I guess?
I could speak on this because part of the plan was actually the drought of energy in the beginning is what made me decide to build Shinigami so early, because he's used for so many challenges that like there were champions I think I got a Shamash super early, but he's not used for any challenges, so I didn't build him until I was like past the challenge stage, or mostly past the challenge stage. And so the energy routing for the 300 stars was a huge deal, and especially with scary stuff like 148 is just a gear check. Like, do you have the gear to kill the weaker Horus on wave 1? And so basically it was like yeah, the energy routing was a huge deal this wave.
What would you say was like the toughest thing to do kind of in the very early stage? Like when you were kind of like grinding through the beginning, it sounded like you basically got stuck only at 120. Were there any other points where it was like, oh, I gotta go back and really grind, or was it really just smooth sailing right past 90, right past?
For me, I didn't get stuck anywhere. Just my team was a lower quality like champions. So a lot of times I'd have to go and like, okay, I'm at this new, like I got to a new like 10s, like 81. And so I had to go get a nicer piece of gear, upgrade gear, take my time, you know, do all the gear rolling stuff. But for me, it was a slow and steady pace. Like not even 120 really messed me up. But it was just my runs were like 5 to 7 minutes because it was a lot of like.
But you're getting past it. You're like, whatever. I'm
getting past it, but it's like, you know, it's like I don't have a lot of gas, so I have to make sure I use my gas appropriately. So I was in the think tank a lot for my runs.
Okay.
Well, and I would say like 120. I didn't really have any hard points, but now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all of us were at least in wave 2. So I think we kind of, what I did at least was I planned ahead before I even got there. Especially with those higher ones too.
I could describe, there were some basically 3 brick walls for the majority of people: 120, 142, and 149. And those were the 3 points that I had to farm. We had
some complaints in the chat. People, we won't call anybody out, but you know who you are. There were some complaints about 149, which cracked me up. And then other people were able to quickly get past it. You know, again, you know who you are. This is a shout out to an individual, but I think it's worth showing something that I think I've seen. You know, the chat kind of going by. Maybe worth talking about a couple of different things that I've seen mentioned. One thing is this coin that I've got that you guys are going to be. No, this is a prototype version of the coin. So this Dan got to me quite a long time ago, actually, and I've actually kept it as like as a good luck charm in my backpack since. By the way,
nice.
I think, but yeah, so you know. everybody that kind of made it into the tier where it said where we've said you're going to get coins, you're going to be getting this in like one of the sweetest boxes I've ever seen. I mean, Simon, right? It's sick looking.
It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I actually think obviously getting the invite to come to Vegas and hang out with the crew and that type of thing is very cool. I actually think like this is a proper minted gold, or not gold, but a minted coin. And actually, this is the thing that I really like. This is like proper decent like merch, I guess, if you like. It's very cool, actually.
Yeah, it's got a good heft to it, you know.
Yeah, we've just agreed today to have more made so that anyone who hit stage 151 gets one of the kind of alpha tester Fafnir's Bane coins, because we're just like, you know, just the enthusiasm really behind it. When we had Alpha Wave 2, just over 600 people hit 151, and we were looking yesterday, we're like, hold on a minute, we've already had basically 900 people as of yesterday hit 151, which is crazy. So yeah, so anyone who hit 151 is going to get one of the coins.
Yeah, we're not selling these things. Like the point is, like, you guys were a part of something special. You guys were, you know, a little part of history, the history of Fateless and GODFORGE, and so, you know, you're gonna get these really cool, you know, I guess I don't know the exact number that we're gonna end up putting out, but quite limited edition, I guess, GODFORGE coins. So
yeah, it's gonna be like 1,200.
I mean, personally, I'm super hyped about this.
Yeah. It's really cool.
And the other cool thing about the coin too, like obviously there's other prizes like, you know, picture frame, you know, so on and so forth. But one of the cool things about the coin is that it's not just pixels on a screen. Like, it's actually something you're going to have in your hand.
Yeah.
And be able to enjoy and appreciate.
Yeah, we're gonna ship it out. I think Dan has to build his shipping
empire,
the shipping process empire. I don't know, in the next week or so. But yeah, there's no chocolate in these things. They're
I guess it is worth saying, actually. So there will be emails sent out on Monday, because we're going to need people's information to be able to send these out. So anyone watching the stream, just make sure you're keeping an eye on emails from Fateless on Monday, because that's going to be how you're going to get these things. There was also an email sent out today for a survey from you guys, just to basically ask, you know, the basic questions really about what you did or did not enjoy about this alpha experience, because ultimately that's what we're doing this for. We're trying to build the best possible game, and we'd really love any feedback that comes in from those. We want to make sure that, you know, we've really nailed the gameplay features, cameras, all of that stuff. It's just super important to us. So please get that done.
Yeah, we want to hear that feedback. And I mean, and I've noticed a little bit of feedback in the chat about some of the quality of life stuff that is definitely coming. I think some of the ones that I'll just call out quickly that I saw mentioned, that I just want to make sure everyone knows. You know, obviously the alpha was a very small slice, and we're very far ahead of that actually in the current dev build. So things like sorting gear, filtering for heroes, selling, all of the things that, not all of the things, but a lot of the things that you're probably feeling like, man, that doesn't feel polished. We know it's not polished.
It's funny actually, because I'm going from dev build back to the alpha build frequently, and in the dev build, I'm going in there, I'm sorting by rarity on the heroes. I'm doing the search to just get the hero name up that I want. And then I go back to alpha and I'm like, yeah, this is not in yet. it's kind of brutal, like, you know, playing between the two right now. But yeah, obviously that's coming for beta and beyond. And I've seen a lot of people actually mention about, do we know when the beta is? Are you already signed up? If you've signed up for the alpha, all those type of questions, which is kind of normal. And I guess we could just answer to it a little bit, really. So anyone who has played in an alpha, you're basically already on an email list with us. You will be invited to the beta as well. I'm getting hard wrecked by this stage right now. And I was trying to bring in some interesting heroes, but anyway, yeah. So anyone who's already signed up, you will be invited. We've got a couple of like next stages, I guess. So towards the end of this year, we're doing something called a tech test, which will be testing a lot of the different features that we've built out, testing things like monetization. So again, we'll invite a lot of this community into that tech test, and it won't be quite as I guess it won't be an event like the alpha. It's more about coming in and testing different models that we've built out and different features, and then we will go into a kind of like soft launch really early next year is the plan. But again, all of these things can change. Ultimately, depending on things like the feedback from this, really dictates a lot of our timelines. Because if people say, you know what, your models for your characters are just terrible, but none of the cameras fit what we want, we didn't find any fun in your game, then that sets us back 6 months.
We would have been like, oh crap. But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously we're hoping we don't hear those things, and generally the feedback I've heard is better than that. But they're realistic things for game design, right? It just, you have to deal with what the players want to a certain degree. So yeah,
I hope you guys are ready. Like, I mean, something we haven't really addressed much, and you mentioned it here, where it's like, this is about a third of the roster that we're going to launch with, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we're starting to see some of these guys coming into the game.
Oh, man.
And I'll say a couple things. One, these characters look amazing. Two, I think our artists have just been leveling up. They're like a lot of these characters. I'm like, holy wow, this is so next level. Like, some of these characters look amazing. So we've got a great roster of characters coming through, and there's some polish on some existing characters to kind of keep in mind, right? So there's a lot of characters that maybe they don't quite have the right animation, or they don't quite have the right stance, or maybe there's a little bit of clipping here or there. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to kind of come together. The scene isn't perfectly lit, the backgrounds have too many polys and maybe aren't quite as nice. There's a lot of things that are going to come together that are going to make things look even better than I think that they look now. I mean, I actually am, yeah, there you go. There's a perfect example.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
this is
proud
one of my favorites, man. This one's so cool.
Yeah, this is. Have we announced who this is? We can announce him. We can do a quick leak. It's fine. Simon, that's your job. You know how to do
this
oh
is,
wow, that looks amazing.
Susan, yeah, Susan. I think the kind of Aztec-based heroes are some of my favorite. Like, they're actually so fun. They're really, really cool.
Have we shown? I mean, you guys knew she was coming. Have we shown Medusa? Do you want to show Medusa?
I have shown Medusa actually. Yeah, Medusa. We're actually. Let me.
I don't know if we want to show it right now, because there's like only so many Simon leaks can come through at once. But
I mean, so we completely changed Medusa. Now? Medusa looked very different to this originally. We did a complete change because we didn't think we was really hitting the aesthetic of our game and the quality we wanted. But I really love where this has gone, and yeah, I mean, she's
so freaking cool.
Yeah, she's very cool.
It's amazing.
Yes.
I love that she's a beautiful woman. Fits the lore super well.
Yeah. 100%. Well, and that's the big thing for all these. I think that's the thing that our lore team and kind of like we call them the lore masters have been really cautious about, and worked with design really closely with, to make sure that we do as much as we can, basically to follow with the myths of these gods, myths and legends, and make their kits make some sense. Obviously there's some game balance stuff that we have to think about, but yeah, I think should Simon leak more?
I'm gonna try one more.
Say after.
Where's Dan? He's going off the rails, guys.
Say with that one, Aphrodite, move over.
This is
I can't stop him.
This is Perun, right? Or Perun, I think.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
This is his ultimate ability. So again, we're in like the testing ground here. So, but this one's very, very cool. Like, crazy work some of our team are doing at the minute. Just trying to completely like break the boundaries of what we've got so far. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, I know. Like, we're getting so much. I mean, this is the thing. So we've kind of been, living and breathing alpha stuff. Oh my gosh, I hadn't seen this one. I'm watching it right now because we're like cool. A little bit off in the schedule. But yeah, we've been living and breathing alpha, and so we've obviously we go back to the build, but we go back and forth. But you don't sit and play with a lot of these things as much. And now we're kind of at that phase where we get to see these again, and and man, it's exciting. So I'm really happy that, you know, I think overall, I don't know, maybe that's a good question to kind of get to. How do people feel about the alpha? Like just, you know, how do things go? What do you think? We'd love to hear it in the chat, but maybe let's go through, you know, the guys here. Overall, how did you guys feel? Maybe start with I don't know, Lyco.
It was amazing. I mean, I met some really cool people. The communication we've had with the moderators, like talking to you guys right now, the entire thing has been incredible. The game is fun. The characters are cool. The aesthetic is amazing. There's a lot of complexity and depth and team building. It's so enjoyable. It's been addicting. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself until the beta comes out. It's so fun.
We have some other stuff in the works too. Just
coming. Yeah.
So you know, we can't leak that one. Don't do it, Simon.
I can't do that one.
we can't leak that one. But we've got some exciting stuff for the in between. Let's put it that way. All right, what do you think? Let's go, Papa Tez. What do you think? How do we do?
Same sentiment. It's just amazing. It's been a ton of fun. I think the thing that really makes a difference to me is just the fact that you all, even though you all are like founders, you're top of the chain basically in a sense, right? And just everybody else, you know, still coming down and talking with us and trying to interact with us, trying to understand the sentiments that we have, how we feel. To me, that's just it needs so much, because it's like, okay, you all really care about the game. You really want to drive something that's strong. You really want to drive something that's community driven, and you really do care about your player base and the thoughts that they have on their mind, even down to just, you know, a couple of people. It's like you all try so hard with that, and I can say that has been probably my most appreciated thing that I've seen.
I love it, man.
That's good to hear.
Amazing.
And the thing is it's weird being on this side of the table, right? So we're building a game, but we love games, and like we're always excited as soon as we get something that comes out as in a new feature. Like we're just as excited as you guys would be to try it and to see if we've kind of nailed it. So it's a very odd situation to be both building a game, but also just like we just want it to be fun. We really just want people to love the game. Like that's mainly it. Like I just want people to love it and want to play it more and want to share, you know, their thoughts about it. It's very addictive on that side as well, interestingly.
And one of the things kind of unique in what I like is that you guys were, you know, with, for instance, Raid or Watch Realm or whatever game, you guys were on our side, and now you guys are making game, and I think you guys actually look at both perspectives. For instance, like some people have talked about, like, you know, in the instance of where it's going, and I obviously there has to be, you know, to a degree, a balance of free to play and pay to win. Sure. But also, if you guys can find that balance, really, in my opinion, I think you guys may take the crown from Raid. Like, I first came into the alpha, I was like, wow, with the music, the artwork, and then, you know, how the characters played. Like, this experience has been incredible. Like, I really do think if you guys can balance everything just right, you guys may take the crown in this genre.
Wow. Thank you, Draco. And then what about you, Fusion? Jump on in there.
Yeah, I mean, for all of these alpha waves, really being a part of something was sort of the best feeling. It sort of made you want to wake up and join your new friends to explore a new thing, and even just finding all the bugs. It wasn't really about finding the bugs, but sort of understanding how they interacted and almost getting a more like intimate feel with all the characters that they interacted with, giving you more of like a deep dive into them and understanding like how their kit actually works and where you can implement it in the future. But overall, I would say just the people here and the fact that we all feel heard when we speak, and because I mean, essentially, you guys are us. You're gamers, just like all of us. And yeah, the community is strong with this one.
Love it, man. And round us out, Unbound Sage. What do we got?
So, I mean, I'll tell you this. The first, like, 5 nights, I only slept 3 hours, and I don't drink coffee at all. I didn't have an alarm. It was straight hype. I went to bed, and I think of, for instance, for 143 with the Mordred tech, right, to strip the ward away,
Yeah.
I literally woke up in the dead of night. I woke my wife up like, I need to go play.
You woke your wife up?
I just figured out how to beat this stage. I'll be back.
Oh wow.
But the biggest thing actually is the ability to interact with you guys. Sham, you were in the chat for a day in Wave 2. And we were talking about how divinity is gained through initiative. And and we talked about that. And I actually have a calculator that can find the upper bound of divinity gain. If you give me a speed and initiative, I can tell you on that, like basically tell you what the cooldown of your ultimate is. It's only the upper bound. It's not perfect. I'd be sharing it. I'm trying to refine it more.
Man, that's amazing.
But you can ask Papa Tez about how confident I am that like, you will not have your ultimate by turn 3 with that initiative.
I was like, nah, bro. I don't care what you're saying. And then I look in there and I have 98% ultimate. I'm like freaking right.
You are going to be 5 divinity off, and you need to build a little bit more initiative.
Wow,
so just having those kind of
the calculators begin. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so close to cracking it. It's an approximation. I'm so close though.
That's
That's
cool.
amazing.
Oh, we should probably do the final winner really. So
It's time. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I often get these type of things wrong in terms of the tech. So we're gonna try our best here not to ruin everything. Let's see what I can do. Let's just.
While he gets set up, just so you know, if you go to godforge.gg, just to confirm, I think I've seen a couple chats to saying like, what's the official? This is official as far as we're concerned. We're gonna do a final, you know, just like check at the top 10 just to make sure. But from what we can see, and I think we've checked most, you know, the vast majority of, or we've checked all the winners rather. This is correct. So you know you can search your ranking. You can see where you're at, wherever you've gotten to. You should be proud, and it's pretty amazing. Like the honestly the dedication and the accomplishment, you know, of this community, man, amazing.
Yeah. So what we're going to do here is a random number generator. We've got 1,677 players that basically played right the way through the alpha. And what we're going to do here is draw a number. I've got an Excel sheet which is literally got every user in it. So we're doing this live because obviously,
doing it live.
Yeah, we want to make sure that it's clear. Like basically, it's just totally fair. Let me just pull Sham back into the screen. There we go. Yeah, so we want to make sure people can see. But basically, we've pulled all of the users into a sheet. And as I say, 1,677 people. So this last person, this is the lucky. This is the person who's going to join us for the Vegas kind of like tour when we do it next year.
Hang on, but before you make this roll,
yeah,
I'm noticing that I can see 47 thumbs up. We got like 350 people here. What's going on?
Unbelievable.
Where's the thumbs up?
Everyone's let us down.
I was doing the thing. Letting us down. Lady H. I was, you know, I know that she always jumps in. Let's go. Get those thumbs up in. Who's gonna win?
It's worth calling out as well. So it's our third. Is it our third anniversary? Yeah, it's gonna be our third anniversary around sort of end of April, and we're trying to tie in this kind of Vegas tour with. I say tour. This Vegas trip. With that third anniversary, and plus there's a couple of events that are going on in Vegas around that time. But we definitely want to have a day when anyone in the community that can make their own way there could come and join us as well. You know, we'll have a few drinks. We'll have we'll basically have the latest version of the game there to play. Ideally with a couple of things that nobody has seen yet before in the community for like future release versions of GODFORGE. So there's going to be some fun stuff to do, but we definitely want to try and allow people to come and join us if they're able to do so. Okay, man, we're going to hit this. We're going to hit the number.
Here it is.
It's going to be somewhere between 1 and 1,677. I'm hoping this tool just works. Let's do it. It's rolled 578.
Okay.
Strolling down, man. 578. Cannot be a staff member. No way! It's one of the crew here, so that's not going to count.
Who was it?
Who is it?
It's Fusion. Fusion.
Let's go. Let's go, Fusion.
Nice try, Fusion.
I won again.
How crazy is that, man? Well, that
I was gonna say, what if it's
insane.
It's a lottery ticket, dude. What is going on here? All right.
Okay, we're doing it again. Well done for
Round
winning
two, round
twice.
two.
Right, let's go in again. Number 879.
879.
879. Scrolling
Who do we
down,
got?
who we got this time? This is Pool God Zero. So I don't know if you're in the chat or what, but we will be sending out information to you. We've obviously got email addresses for these people. Pool God Zero is the final, the winner who's going to be joining us, providing they want to, obviously.
Pool God Zero, and hopefully, so I don't know if that's a swimming pool or if it's a table pool, whatever it is, it works for Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, whatever type of pool, it's gonna work. Hopefully, it's someone who's good at pool. I actually like pool a lot, so I'll be taking them on in Vegas if he is that type of person. So, yeah, I mean, this has been a blast, really. We should. I just finish with, from everybody, like, what are you most looking forward to? If you think about a feature you'd love to see, or I don't know, a hero that you'd love to see in the future, let us know, guys. What would you most like to see? So let's start with you, Papa Tez.
Send it stones. No, okay. Stupid little stones. No. I'd say I'm actually looking forward to just seeing the constant quality improvements, not only the art style, but also going in and seeing the actual lore that's going to be in the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
I've heard that y'all have some absolutely cracked lore heads that are in there, and so just to see what they cook up, I'm super excited about that.
I just want to talk about that for a second, because I am one of these people that's a bit guilty of, you know, a clip comes up and I skip it on, like, take Raid. When I played Raid first time, I didn't watch any, or didn't really read any of the lore stuff in campaign. I think if people give the first cutscene a go, they will watch all of the cutscenes in GODFORGE. I think the quality level is
So cool.
really fucking cool. It's so cool, and to the point where I'm like, I think we could easily make a comic book or, you know, a Netflix show, whatever it is. Like, I definitely think that's feasible in the future. But yeah, no, I'm pleased you called that one out, man. That's cool. What about you? What about you, Leica?
There are two things I'd really love to see. One is I'd like to see Guan Yu's core ability have 100% chance to apply Drain.
Okay.
The second is I think it would be really cool to have I could like talk about a character.
Yeah.
I would love to see Ratatosker in the game, just a little squirrel god. I think it would be cool to have like a non-anthropomorphized character, just a cute little guy.
You can't confirm or deny that there are characters that may or may not fit that profile.
It's exciting.
Keep moving.
Let's move on before anyone says anything they shouldn't say. Unbound Sage. Yep. What about you, man?
Man, I lost Unbound Sage.
Yeah.
There we go. There we
There we
go. I had a mic issue.
No, we're here you now.
Yeah, I've been working with Divinity quite closely, and I love the Ultimate Divinity system. I think that initiative needs to be bumped up a bit from gear, like 50% or even doubled, because when you're running like this really fast Aphrodite, you know, her base initiative it's a 17 turn cooldown for her ultimate if you only use initiative, right? And even if you bumped it up to like 250, it's like a 7 turn cooldown with invested initiative, right? So I look forward to see the team balancing that, because that's going to be a pain point to balance for sure.
Yeah.
So I think
Don't forget about the divinity generators. That
Well,
adds
yeah.
a little bit of offset. I mean, a lot.
Yeah, it does, right? But I look forward to see the balancing, right? For sure. I think that the basic core ultimate triangle is very interesting. I can't wait to see exactly where it lands as a numbers guy. And
Awesome.
then as for a character, I mean, Hephaestus, right? God of the Forge, right? From yeah.
Nice.
That's
nice.
the right name, right?
A great one.
Yeah.
Festus, yeah, I'm with you.
So
Awesome. Uptez, maybe?
Yeah.
As far as characters,
Yeah, who would be a
characters,
character you'd like to
things
see?
we're
Yeah.
excited about.
Oh yeah, well, I
Potatoes
think I
already-
did
already
the
spoke about
excited
that.
things
Yeah,
already.
all
So
right,
I
well,
spoke
no,
about it. Yeah.
Sham's losing his mind.
Guys, I got this coin here. It's my precious. I need to. I feel like there might be something in this thing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Fusion.
I heard it's chocolate.
Yeah.
Don't eat it, dude. Don't promote this, guys.
Yeah. I mean, overall, everything like with the art style that is currently in the game and just how everything looks, I can't wait for that lighting pass to be put over everything for things to really pop and jump out. But I mean, overall, just with all the characters coming in and all the lore behind them, Sage has already been teasing us with how he's going to love to deep dive into all the lore and make videos about that, and that's going to be quite fun to watch. But just when all the characters are there and just doing all the theory crafting behind it and seeing where the synergies lie and how this is going to work with this and picking the most random obscure people that no one picks up and actually using them to dominate is something that I'm looking forward to.
Nice, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Draco?
One thing, obviously is characters, different characters like Poseidon. I've even been kind of like chewing on ideas on like building characters too. Like I've been kind of thinking on that. But the other aspect, one I think many people are interested in is PvP and how that's going to work. But also two, and I've actually talked to a few people about this. I know like this cavern, like going down the levels, is very popular, and I was kind of interested. I'm kind of interested to see if there's going to be something like this, or like, for instance, Doom Tower, but like a seasonal thing where it changes every time. So then we can't. It's not like Raid where there's a preset, depending on which one it is, but it constantly changes each time. And a few people I've talked to, they thought that would be a really cool idea.
Yeah, I guess there's an element. So we've thought about this as well. Actually, we think the feedback from the caverns generally has been so good that we'd be crazy to not try and at least reinvent this. But if it was all the time, I think maybe it feels like a chore. I think if it comes in and it's like a cool event, and it's probably a shorter window, maybe it's like a week-long event that maybe we drop every couple of months, then instead of a chore, it's then like, oh, cool. Who are the heroes available this time in the caverns? It could be like this version of the caverns only unlock the divinity of the uncommon heroes or something. Like we could just do whatever we want with it, really, to just make it different and fun. But I agree. I think it'd be a really cool idea to bring something different. And one of our big things that we want to do is make sure that at least for some events they just feel fresh, because I think a lot of these games in this genre are guilty of just being like, well, just do the same thing you do every day and then that's an event, which just gets monotonous and quite dull, I think. Really. So we're just really like trying to think through what does that look like and how do we do that without it feeling like, oh man, I've got so many extra things to do with my day. So we don't want the game feeling like a chore. We want it to feel like, okay, if I'm going to do this thing, it's because it's fun and feels different. So no, I love that.
I think one advantage you have in that aspect is the rich lore. So dropping one of these like caverns tied into a story event where it's like, okay, yeah, here's like Athena, and you have to climb to the top of the tower to go meet her for whatever reason, right? Yeah, I think that's a big advantage you have to make it feel fresh, and then you make the mechanics tie in. Like you have such an advantage with the rich lore, and then the lore masters also adding on top of that after the shattering of that. So I look forward to it for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's actually
delving into the caves to go and defeat Hades in the underworld.
Yes.
Exactly.
Love that.
Exactly.
Love that. I've seen a couple of good ones in chat as well. Actually, I saw I think it was Doctor Who, or maybe it's Mathorian, basically saying that they're really looking forward to masteries and what we do with the mastery system, which is something I'm really looking forward to as well. Actually, I think that's going to be just a breath of fresh air and a slightly different take on anything we've seen before.
We haven't talked about it for a while. We had that podcast with YST, and then it's been a minute. I think that's the last time that we really talked about it. So that's another one.
Yeah. I think we kind of refreshed it a little bit as well. Sorry, go on.
It'll actually also add another layer of complexity and maybe to a degree uniqueness too.
Yeah, I mean, really like being able to push a build in a direction. That's what we want masteries to be. So, you know, where do I want to use this hero, and therefore what type of mastery tree do I want to put on? But also, where do I want to go and achieve these things to unlock these masteries, which are going to be perfect for this hero build that I want to do. So it's kind of like builds that, I guess, longevity to people playing the game, but also almost like a questing type of feel to it, because it's like, well, I need to go after this challenge to be able to unlock a specific mastery that I can then use on my heroes. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for the mastery system. There's one other question here which I really like from Vex. So what's your dream for Fateless as a whole for the next 10 years? Maybe Sham, do you want to give a
big question?
Yeah, huge question, obviously.
Yeah. 10 years. 10 years is a long time. I mean,
let's
first of all,
let's call it 5. Yeah.
Let's call it 5. But even you know, I think one of my first answers would be, you know, I'd love to see GODFORGE turn into, you know, what I would class as like a forever game, like one of those games where it's not forever, but like a game where people can, where we have this, all the things that you guys talked about, right? These great characters coming in with rich lore, passionate community, excited people, you know, like, so obviously that's one piece of the puzzle. But I guess the other piece of the puzzle is, you know, I want Fateless to grow, you know, as a company, for us to do other really cool games, for us to expand on the IP that we've built or that we're building, and you know, as Simon mentioned, like, I think it really has potential to do a lot of things, to go beyond just the GODFORGE, or just GODFORGE as a game. I think that we've built something really cool, and it might not just be the GODFORGE IP, right? I mean, I think that you know, Simon, Dan, and I, we're all just very excited about, you know, we built Fateless as a company that feels like an amazing team, right? And like, you know, we had this thing, well, what do we say? We said friends, family, Fateless. Yeah. And I love that. I mean, I think that that's one of the biggest things for me, is that, you know, I love my work. I think that we can all pretty much say that. And I think that just building a lot of cool things and building the community and kind of like listening to you guys and hearing, you know, what are you guys interested in, is the future I see, you know, for GODFORGE and for Fateless. I don't know. What about you, Simon?
Well, I guess my number one thing is, just from a personal achievement point of view, I'd love for GODFORGE to basically be topping a chart somewhere, like in terms of just like mainly around number of players. Like that's just like my personal goal. I'd love for GODFORGE just to have loads of people playing it that really enjoy the game. Like that's really what I care about. And then I'm also like I guess I play a lot of different genres just in like free time. So I'd love to be able to use this IP and create like basically like a 3D chess type of game, or
auto chess.
Yeah, an auto chess. Sorry, an auto chess type of game. Yeah, so like or like a Battlegrounds, or like a TGC, something like that. Like basically these different genres where we've already got great assets with our characters. We've already got kind of like lore and story that we can move over. And yeah, I definitely don't see us as like a one game studio, because yeah, I just can't see us stopping there really. But yeah, it's exciting. It's every day we're very fortunate. Every day we wake up and it's like, right, I can't wait to jump into like the next layer of what we're doing. So we're very fortunate in that sense. Yeah.
Oh, I see people starting to jump in with MOBA, MMORPG. I mean, yeah, those are cheap and really easy to build. So we'll get started on those.
Yeah. See if there's any other questions that have come in here. Can we get some flea powder for the hounds from Kathy? I think that's a fair question.
Of course. I mean, duh. Like, what kind of question is that? Obviously. D&D. So I see some Charlemagne talking about running a D&D campaign. With GODFORGE. Love it. Very cool. True Basement Goblin. MMO confirmed. Not exactly. You know, I mean, technically this is MMO, right? Massively multiplayer online. Yeah, we did it. Mission accomplished.
I mean, I guess we've all played MMOs. Most of the team have played some form of like big MMOs, or have actually been working on them in the past. we'd love to have an MNO, but I mean, we're talking that's hundreds of people in the team, and I mean, what minimum
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
5-year project minimum? Probably more than that. Honestly, it's that maybe is a few years down the line, but I don't know. It's cool, but I guess we probably should wrap up. You know, we're about an hour and a half in. I wanted to just thank again everybody that's come on to the podcast here. You've all been like, you know, super inspirational in terms of how you've approached the alphas. Honestly, it's just some of the crazy achievements you've done in the last 10 days. So yeah, thank you all so much for coming on and, you know, sharing your thoughts, and yeah, honestly, just blowing us away in the last 10 days. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys. Amazing. Yeah, and obviously not just you guys who are on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
but holy crap! I mean, like the community. Like we wouldn't be able to do any of this without you. I mean, like talking about like the future of the studio and the future of all this stuff, man. Again, you know, it's a little bit emotional because I think that, I mean, you know, and that's just me, but I mean, Simon or Hellhades and Phixion. You know, you guys have been ride or die with these guys for a long time, and none of this is possible without you. So just
yeah, and it's also, I mean, 30,000. This blows my mind as well. By the way, 30,000 people have come in and tried our alpha. You know, a game which has still got a lot of polish to go and all that type of stuff. So, you know, we've half filled a decent sized football stadium at this point with people that have come in and tried our game, which again blows me away. You know, we're very fortunate to have this sort of community that are, you know, just passionate about what we're doing. So thank you all so much. I just want to close it off there, but thanks for watching the stream as well, everybody. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled for what's next with GODFORGE. See you guys.